Hi, I'm Judy with the White Pigeon Library, and today I'm at Central Elementary School, and I'm with Kate Johnson, and we're going to talk about a few different things. So, hi, Kate, how are you?
I'm great. How are you today?
Good. I'm really glad to be here.
Thank
What
you.
is your role with the schools? I know you've been with the system here for quite some time.
So I'm the school counselor now here at Central Elementary School, and I'm also the homeless liaison for the district, and I do some community resource coordinating too.
Oh, that's interesting. So, when you say the district, is that like St. Joseph County or just
White Pigeon Community Schools.
White
Yep.
Pigeon Community Schools? Okay. Well, Perry and I came over today because we delivered some supplies, which was exciting. We've been collecting for a couple of weeks now, and it's nice to get those to their home, and hopefully, you can distribute them. And
Thank you for that.
you're welcome. Yeah, thanks to the community for being so generous. So,
Absolutely.
good. Well, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about your homeless liaison role, just because I, for one, have a lot of questions about what you do, and I think that as a community, maybe most of us are not aware of the need, and I'm going to call it a crisis because it is that. So what is your process? I mean, how do you discover these things? How do you deal with it? What can we do to help?
Sure. So a couple of different ways. New students who enroll, we always have them do a residency questionnaire. And on that residency questionnaire, it asks some questions that kind of flag things for us so that we can reach out to the families and make sure that they're getting all the resources that they need. But we also have all of the teachers do a module every year to help them know how to identify students that might be in that situation also.
Okay.
And then they report back to me so that I can try to coordinate efforts for them, like benefits and
All right. So
different
parents aren't always
resources.
asking for help. They need you to step in.
Right,
and
a lot of
offer it.
times they don't realize the help that might be available,
Okay.
whether it's transportation or money for field trips or food, backpack programs, school supplies, basically anything that a student might need for school.
Okay.
We could help
All
with.
right. And so that would include a safe place to live and
We can help with
be
that.
fed and.
We
all right.
can't give money for housing, but we can help connect them to resources
Okay.
like Keystone or other landlords in the area that might be able to help.
All right. So what do you consider houseless? I know Perry and I were talking earlier, homeless. We were talking earlier about we may think that people are living in a home, but it might be a relative's home that's not permanent. Would that person be considered homeless?
Yeah, so there's a difference between what qualifies as experiencing homelessness, like for the federal level, not related to schools, versus related to schools. So the McKinney-Vento Act really helps to support students in schools, and for that purpose, homeless would be anyone who doesn't have their own residence or who is in jeopardy of not having their own residence. So
Okay.
if they're being evicted or in the process of that, if they're in transitional housing, if they're staying in someone else's house or camper, like doubled up,
Okay.
and if it's not by choice.
I
So,
see.
Yeah, if it's by choice,
probably
that's
one
different.
of the keys then. Yeah.
But if it's not by choice, it's because of a hardship, then they absolutely can be on our list.
Okay. How do you deal with, say, the older students? Maybe a high school student that's 17, almost 18.
Well, that's
is that where the by choice kind of enters into
Well,
the picture?
it depends on the situation. There's actually, under the McKinney-Vento Act, there's something called an unaccompanied youth. And so that's a separate portion of that. They also can receive help from the school, like, for example, for like cap and gown for graduation.
Oh, okay.
Help
All
with
those little things you
financial
don't
aid.
think about.
Yeah, financial aid. And like payments for college, there's some different things that might be helpful for them. So that also would go through me, and there's just like a screening process that we would
Okay.
help to figure that out. So if they're not living with a parent and doubled up with like a friend or family friends, then that might count.
Interesting.
As being unaccompanied youth.
What can people as a community do besides increase our awareness and watch for signs maybe in the workplace or for instance, I'm at the library. If I were to be made aware of some issues, who would I talk to or what could I do?
They could reach out to me if it's something that they think, if it's involving like a student at one of our schools, they could reach out to me and I could connect with the family. I can't
Okay.
give out information, of course, like because of
Right.
FERPA laws, but or they can encourage that family to reach out to the homeless liaison of the school that they live in.
They may not even know that that help's available to
Right.
them.
Yeah, and a lot of families don't report that they're experiencing homelessness because they think that somehow that's going to affect like where they can go to school. But if they lived in our school district and then they were evicted or then they became homeless, even if they're outside of our district, they could still come here. We would be considered their home school.
Okay.
So we would provide efforts to get them here, whether it's a gas card or figuring out alternate transportation or busing. We can get them here even if they're outside of our district within a
So in the
reasonable-
bigger picture, when you find that kids are homeless at risk, that's got to have some kind of an effect on them long term. What are you finding? Do you have any information on that?
Absolutely, yeah. So part of the reason the McKinney-Vento Act was enacted in the first place, and it's a federal law, it was developed because so many students who are experiencing homelessness or transient housing or transitional housing were like dropping out of school or not passing their classes. There just was no consistency for them, so that's when like the Department of Ed and the federal government stepped in and said we need to really protect these kids and these families so that they can keep a consistent home base of schooling, so that they're more likely to succeed in life and to get their education.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. I feel very enlightened now, and I'm glad to know who to reach out to in the community if I see this. And I thank you for your time and your education and your dedication to your job.
Thank you so much for doing this. Hopefully it spreads the word.
Thanks everyone for being with us today.